Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Fe Fashion's YouTube channel. Another episode of Scene Studies here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I'm going to go around the room and we'll all introduce ourselves.
Michael Thomas, Angel, actor.
Fantastic.
Erika, Ammeter, actor, writer.
I'm Yaya, and I'm model and actor.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Kiki.
Nice.
I'm Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Hannah Alden, and I'm an actor and singer-songwriter.
Fantastic.
Kashmal, actor.
Nice.
David Biagini, writer, musician, filmmaker.
Nice.
Don Novak, I'm a veteran first, an actor always. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So Don, tell us what you brought in today.
So I'm working on a short. It's kind of some of my experiences and some stuff I made up. It's called Code Agent 9. It's about an alternate version of 9/11 where they created these, covert agents to go out and do stuff that the government couldn't legally do. And this short is really about like 20 years later about what happens to somebody when they get older and they've been through a lot of trauma and stuff. And it's also about women empowerment. In the scene or in the movie, my daughter is the one that saves me multiple times, saves me from the bad guys, saves me from the good guys. And the character Erika is going to play too is kind of playing both sides of the law in her own version of what she thinks is right. So that's what I have today.
Fantastic. And then David, you brought something today?
Yes, for those of you who've been following Steven's channel and watching these episodes, which I hope you all are doing, and if you aren't, you should be doing it. We've been doing scenes from a screenplay I've been writing called Celestina, about a woman who is on a journey of self-discovery. And today I have the final scene of that screenplay, which will hopefully Erika can play Celestina.
So what I'm thinking is, since we have so many new people today, and some people that are not so new, let's start with yours actually, and we'll kind of run people through. And then is it okay if we use your script also, kind of have different people act it? Is that cool with you?
Mm-hmm.
So, who's feeling comfortable? Are you ready to jump right in? Have you ever done any acting classes before?
I've never done an acting class. No, my brother does like a little bit of film, so I've just done like one or two little films for him. So yeah.
We're all friends here, so there's no pressure. Okay, right, so we're all good. So let's get set up here.
It's cool.
All right, so Akash, and we have Akash and Yaya. Yes, Yaya. And so we're going to just do, this is part of David's script, if you will. And so we'll just read it.
Great.
Right.
You want me to describe
What's
going on
Sorry.
first? Yeah, a little bit
A
of
lot of sources.
a little bit of
All
backwards.
right, yeah. So Dave, please tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so Celestina is a young woman who is pretty insecure, has really depended on other people to do everything for her. She's also is in trouble with the law. So what she's doing, she's searching for her father, who was sent off to a mental institution when she was very young, and her uncle became her legal guardian and became surrogate father, and she had a very good relationship with him. He's passed away. Before he did, he told her where her father was. So she goes on a search for her father. But in the process, it's her whole experience of being chased by the law and trying to find her father. She realizes who she is, and she becomes no longer a person relying on someone else, but someone who can actually take care of someone else. And what she does, when she looks for her father, she finds that her father had met another woman. This woman also had a son who was pretty much insecure and even probably worse than she was. She finds that her father had passed away and died. But she and this other woman's son, which is Tomas, they get off to a rocky start, but then they become friends. And so this is the last scene in the movie. And they've always talked about, what are we going to do? The police are after her. He doesn't have much of a future, so they talked about, let's just go to Mexico and start a new life. So this is the final scene where they're standing at her father's grave, and they're kind of can figure out like what to do, what's going to happen now. So this is starts for there where they're standing in front of Celestina's father's grave.
Cool. Did you get all that?
Yes.
You guys coming out just a little bit tighter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me. They'll never stop looking.
Then we can't stay.
Do you want to stay? Come on, let's go to Mexico.
Very nice, very nice. All right, so step back. We're not done with you.
Oh,
yet. Come on now. All right, David. Any thoughts?
No, that's good. When he says, "Who's that?" You brought him to the gravesite. And he doesn't know why you did that or who that is. But when you tell him, that's your father, he knew your father because he was with his mother.
Okay.
And so then he says, "Yeah, I liked him." And so this is just after everything they've been through. It's like, okay, now what? And I think he did a good job. When she asks you, "Do you want to stay?" Your only response is, you shake your head because you know that staying,
Yeah.
you really can't
be
stay
possible.
anymore, right?
Yeah.
So and then so you say, okay, we implement our plan, right? We're going where we said we're going to go.
Cool. And the only other thing is speak up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You got it.
Appreciate it. All right, so from the top.
Who's that?
My dad.
I like him too.
So did I.
So what do we do now?
The police are still looking for me. They'll never stop looking.
Then we can't stay here.
Do you want to stay? Come on. Let's go to Mexico.
So is she concerned about what's the emotional feelings here?
Yeah, I think when he says, "What do we do now?" Maybe if you just stop and think about it a little bit more before you act.
And the audio
Say
talks about
that.
how the police are going to come after us. Is she
Because you
concerned?
know
Is it
that
just matter of fact, or
It's
what?
no, it's like you know what's going to happen, and pretty much know what you have to do because you
Yeah.
know this police guy it's set up earlier. He's never going to stop looking for you.
Okay.
He's not going to rest until he puts you in jail because it's personal with him, and so he's never going to stop.
So her whole life lays in the wake of all this. So
And now, and this is really the full change in Celestina's character from being someone who has to be taken care of, who depends on other people to take care of her. Now you're taking care of someone else. You're taking care of Tomas, and you're going to go to Mexico. So this is the full character arc, completes right here, where suddenly now you, instead of being someone who always looks to your father or your uncle or someone to take care of you, now you're going to be taking care of someone
She's
else.
the leader, kind of. Like,
Okay.
Right.
is she more concerned? I mean, should we see more emotion out of it, or is it more just matter of fact, or what's your thoughts at this point?
What do the actors think?
I think she needs to show more sense of urgency to me.
Okay.
Like we gotta go.
Me.
Like we gotta
I'm not
go.
an acting coach, but that's what I see.
Uh-huh.
Is Tomas like really young?
Tomas is maybe a few years younger than she is,
So he's not like-
but not.
Do I look
They're
younger?
fairly close.
I was just asking.
But he's had a very troubled youth as well. So they're very similar in the fact that they both had come from trouble, and he's basically probably where Celestina was at the beginning of the film. He needs help. He's always had his mother or Celestina's father or someone to look out for him and to take care of him. But now that's not going to happen. And basically he haven't really fleshed out the whole script yet. But they're probably in love or pretty close to it or getting close to the where or maybe it's closer to a mother-son relationship. not sure how that's gonna play out yet, but it's, this is where she doesn't rely on someone. She's gonna take care of someone else. And, given that he's the son of her father's lover,
Yeah.
that kind of complicates things.
It's
So it
awkward.
may
It's
never
awkward.
be a full love relationship, but, I think she probably does see in him a little bit of her, right? And so she knows what he's gonna go through. She knows what his future is gonna be like if he stays, and she knows what her life is gonna be like if she stays, right? He's gonna be constantly running from this idiot that's trying to get to her. And so,
Cool. Let's try it again. If that's it. So and action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I like him too.
Yeah, so did I.
So what do we do now?
The police are still looking for me. They're never gonna stop looking.
Then we can't stay.
Do you want to stay? No. Alright, then let's go to Mexico. Come on.
I think that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
More of a sense of
Little
urgency.
yeah.
So let's give a couple more people a chance. So
Newbies.
I would just wonder, like, when he finds out,
come on, Vanessa.
It's been a while.
well,
Come on.
his dad, is there any
And,
information from him on that?
Her father's been dead for a while, so he knows it. So but he doesn't know. He's never been
Oh,
to the
he's-
gravesite. He
We're
never
gonna jump in
knows.
now too. So it's gonna be you and Vanessa.
Okay.
We'll just switch it up. So
There you go.
Vanessa, come on up.
Thank you, guys. That was great.
It's nice to meet you. I guess I was just thinking, like, when he finds out that, what was Tomas's relationship with the father?
His father, when he was released from the mental hospital, took up with Tomas's mother.
Yeah.
So they were lovers, and so her father was not like real father to Tomas, but he was kind of the guy that was there, the guy that was with his mother.
Would we shoot it, like, both of us looking at the grave then?
That at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause so Celestina would definitely be looking at the grave, I think, because that's her father, and haven't written the previous scenes, but this could be the first time that she visits his grave, or it could be the last time. She could have already visited it, but she knows that she can't stay with the police going. So this is probably the last time that she'll be at her father's grave, and that kind of gives added significance to it. But it's definitely Tomas is the first time that he's been to the gravesite, and so that's why he doesn't know who it is or why. He's kind of confused as to why she brought you here,
Okay.
and so that's why you ask, like,
Okay.
who's that? And then when she says, my dad, then that realization comes in that, okay, that's, now I know why I'm here, and, then you tell her that you liked him, because you did, right? And that means something to her, because if you liked her, you knew and liked her father, that means a lot to her. Because she adored her father, even though she only probably spent the first 6 or 7 years of her life with him. They were like this, and so the fact that you say I liked him means a lot to her.
Okay.
And it means so when she says so did I, that was kind of like that's an emotional scene, because somebody else is saying that they liked your father, and that means a lot.
Sweet. All right. Vanessa, like your choice in clothing, all black today. So,
I got lucky.
Don's half black.
yeah, AC/DC. All right, cool, and action.
Who's that?
It's my dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me and they're never gonna stop.
Then we can't stay.
Do you wanna stay? Let's go to Mexico.
I think it's really cool, like how people interpret, the scenes differently.
That was
That was
really
good.
yeah, it was.
Yeah. The only change I would make is on the last line where it says, "Come on, let's go to Mexico." Do that more of a take charge.
Yeah.
She's emotional because of that, but then now she realizes,
Take
okay,
charge at the end, yeah, she did.
we gotta go, and so you go back into the new Celestina who is caring for other people, and so just make that one more of a come on, let's go to Mexico type of thing. That's what we have to do.
What would you say? Like we stand in silence for a couple of beats or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a lot of emotion there, especially in Celestina's part, and I like the fact that you're almost crying because this really hits you really hard, and then after that awkward moment of silence, you ask the pertinent question like, now what? It's like,
I've been practicing at home or what? That was good.
No, but when you're saying that, David, like here it says Thomas shakes his head and Celestina takes his hand. Am I the one who takes charge? Is that
you
what
take
you're saying?
charge,
Okay.
yeah. You don't wait for him to give him your hand. You take his
Okay.
hand and you go
Let's
like,
just go.
come on, let's go to Mexico.
Okay.
Because like in the first of the movie, she is really messed up.
She is.
Yeah. Right.
But now
So-
she's not.
Okay.
Tomas is messed up, so
Tomas.
she's taken the
Gotcha.
know,
The leadership
made the
you're
full arc.
Cool.
Do you think I was loud enough?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you for asking. All right, cool. And action.
Who's that?
saying. It's my dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me and they're never gonna stop.
Then we can't stay.
Do you wanna stay? Let's go to Mexico.
So let's put Tom and Hannah in.
I'd like to see Erika.
Yeah.
Hey Steve, I'd like to see Erika do Celestina too.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. We'll give her a shot.
She's been doing it the whole
Yeah.
time. So
So it'll be her and Erika and
and whoever you
okay. All right.
you.
Me.
You.
Me.
Perfect.
Sweet. So and action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police, they're still looking for me. They're never stopped looking.
Then we can't stay.
Do you want to stay? Come on. Let's go to Mexico. Go to Mexico.
Doing a combo.
So I think starting with the line, the police are still looking for me, that's when she starts, that's when she changes the scene. She goes from the emotional part to being the take charge type. It's more like,
Okay.
hey, the police are after me, they're not gonna stop. And like, do you wanna stay? So at that point,
Increase the
she's,
urgency.
yeah, that, if you're looking, if you're mapping the emotions of the scene, she's very emotional until the so did I, right? That's because of his response, and then there's that moment of silence, and that's where she regroups and then emerges as the new improved, I can take charge Celestina.
Sweet.
Where are you starting? Where are you starting?
Mhm.
Where? Right there? Okay.
And action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me. They'll never stop looking.
Then we can't stay here.
Do you want to stay? Come on. Let's go to Mexico.
Excellent. Yes.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, that
was good?
That was it.
All right, cool. So we're not.
Really good.
All right. So we're in good hands. Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me and they'll never stop.
Then we can't stay.
Do you want to stay?
Do I want to stay? No. Is there a line there?
No, you're
No,
just supposed to shake your head.
Read the action lines. How many times have I told you, read the action lines?
He's a verbatim director. He won't let you improv. Read the damn lines.
Okay.
Should we just start from the beginning?
Yeah. And the other thought. The other thought is, I think I should walk into the scene because obviously, if I was at the gravestone or whatever, I would know who that is. So
Yeah.
so kind of
You've never been to his gravesite.
So kind of just walk in. And
But you
say,
can do that.
Yeah, just say who's that.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Does that work?
yeah,
All right, I'm on action.
if it helps you, Stephen.
Helps you get in the character. Hold on.
Yeah.
And you could call action.
Action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me and they'll never stop looking.
Then we can't stay.
Do you want to stay? Come on, let's go to Mexico.
I feel very pathetic. After
Before she says, so did I, and when your line is, what do we do now? Just put a little more silence in there because, you're both like taking in the scene.
Yeah.
But,
Great.
in fact, it's, the walking in part is good.
So is Thomas a little like kind of a pathetic guy, or is he?
He's troubled. He's troubled.
Probably like
Trouble.
using, right?
Remember, we had an incident a while back with a troubled young man?
Yeah, we had an actor that showed up. Very drunk.
So,
Similar to that.
not quite as.
Not belligerent?
Not belligerent, but he's troubled. He's had a rough time.
Okay.
And,
So he really can't think for himself.
He's
That is entertaining.
So I could be the pathetic. Okay,
He's-
cool.
He just isn't surviving on his own. Like
Alright.
yeah.
he's an addict, so he depends on other people often.
And now
Probably,
someone
right?
someone has come into his life that is going to
Help me.
help him. I'm not sure why. I haven't. The script isn't fully written yet, so the relationship with his mother and why he's going to go off with her isn't haven't worked out yet.
Okay.
But there is a reason why he is not going to be staying with his mother. Maybe the relationship there wasn't good. Maybe the relationship between him and her father was the good relationship, but the relationship with his mother was bad, just like her relationship with her mother was bad. So that kind of gives, a kind of parallel experience, and that's why she can see exactly what he's going through.
So let's try it one more time, and then we're gonna put you in.
Yes.
You'll
Just
play,
do it.
and I'll be
It's like diving in the water.
I'll be the pathetic guy, and you'll be my savior. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So, so you call action.
Alright.
And
Action.
you'll remain on the camera.
And I'll what?
You'll remain on the camera.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Action.
Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me and they'll never stop looking.
And we can't stay.
Do you want to stay? Come on, let's go to Mexico.
Kiki in the house. All right, so we'll just do a dry, cold read first. All right. Breathe. Settle in. All right. Who's that?
Oh gosh, okay, hold on.
Yeah. It's good that the heart. It's good, right? Get the heart racing a little bit. That's good.
Alright.
Good for you. Who's that?
My dad.
I liked him.
So did I.
What do we do now?
Well, the police are still looking for me. They're never gonna stop.
Then we can't stay.
Well, do you want to stay? Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Come on. Let's go to Mexico.
It's cool. Cool. So is she in frame the whole time? Okay, cool. So
Sounds good.
I'll let Dave give notes in a second, but just if you could just speak up a little bit. But for the first time, it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really good.
Good job. Good job. Yep, stand.
Put yourself in the place of one who has been through a lot and suddenly is now confident in herself, where before she had no self-confidence, and now she is. And that's just put yourself in that mindset. And then when you do that line about the police, man, you're really coming on as a strong person at that point. And
Strong.
Just
Yeah.
let it rip, let go.
Be strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. So we'll, are we good? Someone walk in. Ready?
Action.
Who's that?
It's my dad.
I liked him.
Yeah, so did I.
What do we do now?
The police are still looking for me. They're never gonna stop.
And you can't stay.
Well, do you want to stay? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Come on. Let's go to Mexico.
All right, cool. And action.
Mr. Jacobs? Do you need a minute?
No, it's just the food here. I'm not used to it.
Well, you had an interesting day.
Just a typical Tuesday.
Typical. It says in the report that you fought 3 police officers and handcuffed them together around a pinon tree.
I wouldn't say I fought them. I just changed the outcome.
But what I don't understand is that you let them there. You called the agency, you turned yourself into the locals. Why?
You should know that. It should be in that folder.
Jake, we're not from DC. We're agents stationed in New Mexico. We were briefed on who you were, your history, and we headed here as fast as we could.
Okay. Do you know the passcode?
Passcode?
You don't know the passcode?
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between 2 pillows?
Those aren't pillows.
From planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes. Okay. I guess you guys are legit.
Well, I still don't understand why you turned yourself in. How you not scratched or bloodied or injured? Plus, you don't look very tough to me.
You don't understand? What don't you understand? Do you need a demonstration?
All right. Enough with the macho shit. We've been authenticated and we're ready to get you out. But would you mind explaining what happened? We have to report back to DC.
As you must have been briefed or you read that I'm an exempt agent trained to kill. So, one more would not matter.
Jake, it's cool. We're here to help.
You're here from the government and you want to help?
I know how it sounds, but you called us.
I didn't want the situation to escalate. I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Well, Mr. Jacobs, please excuse my misunderstanding, if you will. But you, whatever it's called, handcuffed 3 police around a tree, and you face no repercussions?
Agent, maybe the agency will tell you, maybe they won't. All I will say is I've hurt and killed people all over the world and never spent one day behind bars. I made a deal with the devil, and the devil's here to help. So please do your thing so I can get out of here.
Mr. Jacobs, you look good physically, and your mental state is fine. So we'll let DC know, and we'll get you out of here. Brown, let's get this done.
Mr. Jacobs, do you need a minute?
No, I'm just not used to the food here. Please join me.
Well, you had an interesting day.
Just typical Tuesday.
Typical? It says in your report you fought 3 police officers and handcuffed them together around a pinon tree.
I wouldn't say I fought them. I just adjusted the outcome.
But what I don't understand is you left them there, called the agency, and turned yourself into the locals. Why?
You should know the answer to that question. It's in your little folder.
Jake, we're not from DC. We're agents from New Mexico. We were briefed on who you are, your history, and headed out here as fast as we could.
Okay. Do you have the passcode?
What passcode?
Well, if you don't know.
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between 2 pillows?
Those aren't pillows.
From planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes, okay. I guess you are legit.
I still don't understand why you turned yourself in. How are you not scratched or bloody or injured? Plus, you don't look very tough to me.
You don't understand. What don't you understand? Do you need a demonstration?
All right, knock off the macho shit. We've authenticized and we're ready to get you out, but would you mind explaining how this went down? We have to report back to DC.
As you must have read or have been briefed, I'm an exempt agent trained for killing. So one more wouldn't matter.
Jake, it's cool. We're here to help.
You're here from the government and you want to help?
I know how it sounds, but you called us.
I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just have issues with confinement. I turned myself in so the situation didn't escalate.
Mr. Jacob, please excuse my misunderstanding. If you will, but you whatever is called, handcuff 3 police officers around a tree and you face no repercussions.
Agent, I've hurt and killed people all over the world and have never spent a day behind bars. Maybe the agent will tell you why. Maybe they won't. I'll just say I'm in bed with the devil, and the devil's here to help. So please, do your thing so I can go, and please tell them at DC I'm okay mentally.
Mr. Jacobs, you look good physically, and your mental state is fine. We'll let DC know and get you out of here. Come on, let's get it done.
Good job.
Then I was wondering,
So,
at some point, Agent Brown wouldn't stand up.
Yeah.
And then when she pulls the knife, he sits down.
Yeah.
Right? That one of the earlier confrontations,
Oh, okay.
he stands up because he's trying to assert his dominance, right? And then she pulled her, then the knife comes out, and it's like, oh, okay. Then you kind of sit down because you no longer, you've met your match there,
Yeah.
right? So maybe that would be a good
I like that.
change
Me
to
too.
make.
that makes sense.
Mr. Jacobs, do you need a minute?
Nope. I'm just not used to the food here. Please, join me. Sit down. Well, you've had an interesting day.
No. Oh wait. Well,
Wait, sorry. Oh,
Okay. Okay.
Nope, just another typical day.
Typical. It says in the report, you fought 3 police officers and handcuffed them together around a pinon tree.
I wouldn't say I fought them. I just adjusted the outcome.
Where are we at? But what I don't understand is you left them there, called the agency, and turned yourself in to the locals. Why?
You should know the answer to that question. Isn't it in your folder?
Jake, we're not from DC. We're from New Mexico. Agents stationed in New Mexico. We're briefed who you are, your history, and we came as soon as possible.
Okay, and do you know the passcode?
Passcode?
Oh wait, if you don't know,
Where's your other hand? Why are you holding my hand? Between 2 pillows?
those aren't pillows.
From planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes, okay, so I guess you are legit.
I still understand you turned yourself in. How are you not scratched or bloody, injured? Plus, you don't look very tough to me.
You don't understand. What you don't understand, do you need a demonstration?
All right, knock off the macho bullshit. We've authenticated and we're ready to get you out of here. Would you mind explaining to us how this went down? We have to report back to DC.
As you must have read or been briefed, I'm an exempt agent trained for killing. So one more wouldn't matter.
Jake, it's cool. We're here to help.
And so you're here from the government and want to help?
I know how it sounds, but you called us.
I didn't want to hurt anybody. I just have issues with the confinement. I turned myself in so the situation wouldn't escalate.
Mr. Jacob, please excuse me, misunderstanding, if you will, but you, whatever it's called, handcuffed 3 police officers around a tree, and you have no repercussions?
Agent, I've never hurt and killed people. Wait, I've hurt and killed people all over the world, and I have never spent one day behind bars. Maybe the agency will tell you why. Maybe they won't. I'll just say I'm in bed with the devil, and the devil is here to help. So please do your thing so I can go and tell the boys in DC I'm okay mentally.
Mr. Jacobs, you look fine physically, and your mental state seems fine. Well, we'll let DC know and get you out of here. Brown, let's go get it done.
Mr. Jacobs, do you need a minute?
No, I'm not used to the food here. Please join me, sit down.
Well, you had an interesting day.
Just a typical Tuesday.
Typical. It says in the report that you fought 3 police officers and handcuffed them together around a pinon tree.
I wouldn't say I fought them, I just adjusted the outcome.
But what I don't understand is you left them there, called the agency, and turned yourself into the locals. Why?
You should know the answer to that question. It's in your folder there.
Jake, we're not from DC. We're agents stationed in New Mexico. We were briefed on who you were, your history, and we came as fast as we could.
Okay, do you know the passcode?
Passcode?
If you don't know...
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand?
Those
Between 2 pillows?
Those aren't pillows.
From planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, okay, I guess you're legit.
I still don't understand why you turned yourself in. How are you not scratched or injured or bloodied? Bloody. Plus, you don't look very tough to me.
You don't understand. I'm sorry. What don't you understand? Do you need demonstration?
All right. Enough with the macho shit. We've been authenticated and we're ready to get you out, but would you mind explaining what happened? We need to report back to DC.
Well, as you might have read or been briefed, I'm exempt from. I'm an exempt agent trained for killing. Okay, so remove the knife. I'm an exempt agent. I'm trained for killing. Okay, so remove. Okay, remove that. So one more wouldn't matter.
Jake, it's cool. We're here to help.
You're here from the government, and you want to help.
I know how it sounds, but you called us.
I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just have had issues with confinement. I turned myself in so the situation didn't escalate.
Mr. Jacobs, please excuse my misunderstanding, if you will. But you, whatever it's called, handcuffed the police officer around a tree and faced no repercussions?
Agent, I've hurt and killed people all over the world. And I've never spent one day behind bars. Maybe the agency will tell you why, maybe they won't. Let's just say I'm in bed with the devil. And the devil's in hell. So please, do your thing so I can go and tell the boys in DC I'm okay mentally.
Mr. Jacobs, you look good physically and mentally. Your mental state seems fine. We'll let DC know and get you out of here. Come on, bro. Let's get this done. Okay. We should do that again.
Oh, yeah. I agree, because I
We need
messed up
three
that
scripts.
one
It
line,
was hard
how
to
it
read
was
from one,
interpreted.
too.
Yeah, cool. So we'll do it one more time, then we'll wrap this up, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now I took the knife out too soon. I know that, right?
What does he do?
Yeah, no, it's when you don't understand. What don't you understand? No, that's not even right. It's
Okay, that's on page 3. Okay, page 3 you don't understand. Okay, that's when I take it out. You
No,
need a
no.
demonstration?
no, I think let me see.
Then take it out.
Yeah,
I think it's when he said he
exempt.
wouldn't kill.
I'm an exempt agent,
I'm an exempt agent. Yeah.
so one more wouldn't matter.
That makes sense.
Yes, you
Yeah.
see that, I mean.
Okay, so
I'm an
top of
exempt
page
agent.
4. Okay, that's when I
Yeah.
take it out. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Jacobs, do you need a minute?
No, I'm just not used to the food here. Please join me. Sit down.
Well, you had an interesting day.
Just a typical Tuesday.
Typical. It says in the report that you fought 3 police officers and handcuffed them together around a pinon tree.
I wouldn't say I fought them. I just adjusted the outcome.
But what I don't understand is you left them there, called the agency, and turned yourself into the locals? Why?
Well, you should know the answer to that question. It's in your folder.
Jake, we're not from DC. We're agents stationed in New Mexico. We were briefed on who you were, your history, and we came as fast as we could.
Okay, do you know the passcode?
Passcode?
If you don't know,
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between 2 pillows?
those aren't pillows.
From planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, okay, I guess you're all legit.
I still don't understand why you turned yourself in. How are you not scratched, bloody, or injured? Plus, you don't look that tough to me.
You don't understand. What don't you understand? Do you need a demonstration?
All right, knock off the macho shit. We've authenticated, and we're here ready to get you out. But would you mind explaining what happened? We have to report back to DC.
Well, as you must have read or you've been briefed, I'm an exempt agent trained for killing. And, so one more wouldn't matter.
Jake, it's cool. We're here to help.
So you hear from the government and you want to help.
I know how it sounds, but you called us.
I didn't want to hurt anyone. I have these issues actually with confinement, and I turned myself in so the situation didn't escalate.
Mr. Jacobs, please excuse my misunderstanding, if you will. But you, whatever it's called, handcuffed 3 police officers around a tree and you faced no repercussions?
Agent, I've hurt and killed people all over the world. I've never spent one day behind bars. Maybe the agency will tell you why, maybe they won't. But I'll just say I'm in bed with the devil. And the devil's here to help. So please, do your thing so I can go and tell the boys in DC I'm okay mentally.
Mr. Jacobs, you look good physically and your mental state seems fine. So we'll report to DC and get you out of here. Brown, let's get this done. I couldn't get out of the chair.